How did I get from this to this? One of the most popular questions that I get asked on our channel is, how do I make a no dig bed? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you just how we made ours. Today's video is actually inspired by one of our viewers, Susie. She left me a comment 2 or 3 videos back saying, I see you have the red peril. She's of course talking about Oxalis. Now this garden had lots of it in here, and the weed itself is quite a pest. It can make its own seed and fire them everywhere. The other way that it can manifest itself is that it sends out its roots all along, creeps along your soil and sends new plants up along the root run. So every time you actually try and dig it up, and you leave a tiny bit of root in, it will keep coming back. Now it's not the worst weed in the world, but it is a pain. And I can assure you that before myself and Mrs. W went over to no dig, the whole of this garden had so much Oxalis, we'd be spending the first 3 hours of our day just weeding all 4 veg plots. That's not good news. Got far more things to do to make this a productive garden. So the question I'm always asked is, do I need to remove the weeds before I make a no dig bed? The simplest answer is no, you don't. But weeds like this, these are perennial weeds, and they have, or will get, quite a long taproot. So what you want to do before you go over to no dig is to remove anything like this and get as much of the root out as possible. As you exclude the light by covering your soil, the taproot has a lot of energy stored in it. That's why these particular plants do well. And the root will keep growing up, and then it will send out some green leaves so that it can once again photosynthesize. So probably for the next 6 months to a year, you just want, every time you see the fresh leaves come up, just do what I just did, leave it down and pull it up. Get as much of that root out as you can. Eventually, the taproot will run out of energy and you won't see it anymore. One of the best examples of this is if you look at plot 2 in our garden. That was full of thistles, had a lot of thistles in there. We don't see them anymore, but we did ensure that for the first year of its life, we were digging out the root and getting as much out as we could every time we saw some regrowth. You don't see them in plot 2 anymore, do we?
No.
After those weeds have been removed, you need to look at your soil and just roughly get the levels okay. Just so that you haven't got any hollows. And actually, although you don't see me with a spade in my hand very often, if you have got quite, a steep hill, you can just slice that off. No need to dig down and disturb the soil. Just slice the top off and put it somewhere where you do have a hollow to help make it more level. Now I shall actually add this video to the How to Grow from Seed to Table playlist so that you can always go back and watch it if you're not ready to become no dig or you don't have the materials yet. The reason why I thought I'd add it to that is because actually, if you want to grow the best version of your vegetables that you see on those videos, being no dig is the best way to go. It really is. There is no doubt that since myself and Mrs. W have been no dig our vegetables have grown far better. We get more yield, and of course, there's much less weeding. And through the weeks and the months of the year, myself and Mrs. W put 1 or 2 how-to videos out there, and if you find videos like this of interest, then the best way to know when we put a video out is to make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. And of course, don't forget to click the bell icon, and that way YouTube will notify you whenever we upload a video. Now, myself and Mrs. W keep all the cardboard that comes our way, but this can also be a free resource for you if you don't have stock of cardboard. Just go to your local grocer, hardware store, supermarket. They've got loads of it, and they'll be only too pleased to let you have some. And the cardboard is particularly good because it's plain. You don't want shiny cardboard, and what you do want to be able to do is to remove any shiny labels or staples or sellotape that will struggle to break down in your soil. This is what the green stakes came in. I get asked a lot of times about where we get things from, and just so that you know, because I don't say it on every video, anything that we use that you see in the video, I leave the links in the description. If you scroll down the description, past that you'll find the links. Just click on that, it will take you to where we actually bought it from. Not that you have to buy it from there, but it will give you an idea of what we've used. Now, it's not absolutely necessary to actually use cardboard, because I've actually got some. I'm going to use it. But if you didn't use cardboard, you'd want to put a slightly thicker mulch on top, so that light is excluded for longer to kill off any weeds that are underneath. As cardboard is a free resource, it makes sense to use it, because then you don't need to put so much of your compost on top. The other thing is that although you can make a new dig bed at any time of the year, it really doesn't matter. What I would advise is if you are making it at a time when your climate is dry, so for us here in the UK, hopefully the summertime, you might just want to water this first, soak the cardboard so that it begins the breaking down process. But as I said earlier, we live in the UK. It's February the 2nd today. We still have much rain to come. The other thing that's really important is to ensure that you cover any gaps. So you can see here this pit is missing. So when you come to do your next layer, ensure that that is covered. You don't want any gaps anywhere. So don't skimp with the cardboard. I'm going to be turning these bits of the bed here and in between these fruit bushes also to no dig, and around the fruit bushes. But I've got to be a bit more careful when it comes to the fruit bushes, because where I'm going to be growing vegetables, I shall have some mushroom compost. So mushroom compost will only come up to about here. We're going to fit in some cardboard around here, and then there will be some actually horse manure or our own compost that we will put around the fruit bush. In our main vegetable plots, you'll see that they are just flat plots. All I do is spread compost on there every year, and initially when we turned them over to no dig, we just put the compost on. But here, because there is a path between where this bed is going to go and these raspberry canes, I don't want all the soil tipping onto here. So just to help retain it, Mrs. W has just put some pieces of wood in front, and that will just contain and stop the compost all coming over onto the path and making it muddy. After a while, of course, we can just remove them and it will look as it does. The compost will clearly go down over time, because all of the soil life, which is the feature of no dig, will start to work on the compost that we are going to put on here and turn that into nutrient-rich soil. You can, of course, if you're going to go for raised beds, no dig is also an option. So you can still do no dig even if you've got a raised bed. I'm going to be using some spent mushroom compost that I managed to get a hold of relatively cheaply. I've been busily spreading our homemade compost onto our veg plots since October last year as they became free. So we don't have a huge amount of our compost left. We do need to empty Beauty and the Beast, and that will give us some more compost, but certainly won't be enough here, because what you're looking to do is to put a good 4-inch layer now on top of this cardboard. If you weren't using cardboard, I would suggest you go for a good 6 inches. You want to exclude the light for as long as possible to kill off those annual weeds. It's quite important at this stage, when you first go turn yourself over to no dig, not to skimp on this process. So spread it out. And then tamp it down, either with your feet or, as I'm doing here, with the rake. And actually you'll discover that what you put on, although it looked a lot because it was all fluffy, it was nothing like a 4-inch layer. It's a gorgeous day here today in our no dig garden. We had a lovely frost today. So once you've done that, get another lot on. And give it another tamp down. How much do you reckon I've got on there now, Mrs. W?
I would say about 3 inches on there, would you?
So would I,
yeah.
Yes. So, let's get the rest of this barrow on.
Because it's such a cold morning, you can actually see the steam still coming off that compost.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, you really can. It's been outside. Having said that, this is not well rotted. Well, it's not completely fresh, but it's not well rotted, so there is still a bit of heat in it. But I'm not going to be planting in this until a bit later on in the year. One of the features of no dig is that once you make a bed, you can actually plant into it straight away if you wish. But we're not going to. I know what's going in here, and it won't go in until much later in the year. I'll give this time to cool down completely and for the weather to break the lumps up. And hopefully you're getting a picture of just how easy this is. And imagine if I wanted to single dig all of this and add compost, not forgetting I'd need to weed first. With no dig, you skip that process. By the very actions that you're doing of putting cardboard and compost on, you're effectively killing the weeds. So no dig is a big time saver, not just in the making of it, but in the future as you go on to grow your vegetables year after year. Once you have done this process the first time, you will only need to add 1 inch or 2 of your compost on top of your beds every single year. That's all I do. As they've grown their crops and the last harvests are taken, I twist the plants out, whatever's in there, and I then give it its annual dressing of compost. And that's all there is to it.
Oh, Charlie's here, Grandad.
Is he? Hello, my boy, are you alright?
Yeah.
Good. It's lovely to see you. God, do you know what? That'd be amazing if you could give Grandad a hand. If you come here, I'll tell you what to do. So I'm just spreading some, this is mushroom compost, which has got horse poo in it. That's why it smells a bit. Yeah? So I've just spread that about, yeah? And then if you just go like that and tamp that down, so Grandad can see what level it is, and then that'll free me up to go and fill the wheelbarrow up again with some more, so that we get a good 4 inches on it. Do you think you can do that while I go and load the barrow up?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Thank you very much.
You can see all the steam coming off it because it's still hot. Can you see that, Charlie?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great job, Charlie. I'd anticipated this taking me about 2 hours to complete, but with your help, that's only taken an hour and a half. And now we've got new no-dig beds that we'll be able to grow lots of food in. And you know, this is a great job to do at this time of the year. Remember back on our 12 jobs for February, I said things that you need to do, get them done during January, during February, because you're not too busy doing other things, and it will make all the difference. Myself and Mrs. W now have a brand new growing area that we can grow even more food in. And I'll leave a link just above me to that video, so if you want to see what the jobs are that you could be getting on with during February, then just click on that. Charlie's a bit of a YouTuber as well. He does a gaming channel, actually, To Be Cool. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen so you can see it. But you know, if you've got children yourselves that are into gaming, or your grandchildren, then do go and take a look at young Charlie's channel. He does a really good job. Really proud of him. He's doing really well. Must run in the family, Mrs. W. So our no-dig bed is complete. Do let us know in the comments. Have you made a no-dig bed lately? Are you going to make one? And hopefully this has helped you. But of course, now that it's finished, what are you going to plant in it? Well, if you want to know some things that you could plant in this in about a month's time, mid-March, then watch this video next. 15 seeds you can sow during the month of February. They'll be ready to put out in your new bed mid-March to grow away and give you some lovely fresh vegetables by the time we get to the summer. Have a great rest of your gardening week. For myself, Mrs. W, and young Charlie, we shall see you all very soon.